We're ready to go.
Okay. Okay, today we're going to work on a Troy bolt motor with a 550EX Brigg&Stratton motor. It won't start. The gentleman I bought it from, he was a pretty fun guy. He said, tell you what, if it won't start and you can't get it running, I'll give you your money back. Now this guy only wanted 20 bucks for this mower and said that he got it sort of running, and then he took the carburetor apart and spent hours working on it. And so, got to give him lots of props for being a super nice guy. But we took it apart, and here's what we found. We just had a video maybe a week ago where I found one of these with the linkage just all wonky. And if this one's the same thing, I'll start just doing linkage for a living. But this looks to be in really nice shape. I saw what he replaced it with. He got a brand new Honda HRN mower. So he definitely had intentions of upgrading when he did that. We would get a magnet to keep all our bolts together. And let's see what we've got. Wow, the linkage is pinned and it's just stuck. It's not moving in any way, shape, or form. And you can see he put a new wire here. I think I've got one of these sitting around someplace. But yeah, the linkage is pinned open or pinned closed as it may be. Let's take a look. Brand new air filter. It's pinned on full choke. Now I'm going to look, but I'm reasonably sure that this and this little tab here is on the goes on the other side of this. I don't know how it got on this side, and looking at it, I can't figure out how you'd put it together that way. But I'm thinking that's the case. Okay, so the question is, how do we get the linkage back on the correct side of the carburetor without breaking anything? Let's try to gently pull up on it. Never seen anything like this before. Let's get a screwdriver. If it wasn't broken before, it might be before I'm done here. Oh, there you go. That might do it. Look at, oh, almost. Everything's plastic, so it's got a little bit of flex to it. The metal wouldn't. Oh, look at that. There she goes. So I guess you can overturn it. How they got past that point is beyond me. This would normally not turn very far at all. Okay, let's give her a pull and see what happens. Hopefully that's the only problem this thing had. Okay, when the cover goes on, do that. Pull the string a little bit. You saw it just clicked into place. That makes it easy peasy. Now he did complain that this was running really slow and then didn't want to start at all. But he claimed he put new spark plugs in it and played with the carburetor. I suppose we know he played with the carburetor right now. It's got a little bit of gas in it. Let's back out and pull her a few times and see what happens. Now that was new. It actually threw oil backwards through the carburetor. Look at that. It just drowned everything with oil. I have a feeling we might have just a little too much oil in this. You might not know the difference between a quart and a gallon. Okay, the oil's all the way up the stick, but that doesn't mean that's how much oil's actually in it. I like to think that doesn't mean how much oil's in it. Okay, the oil is up to here. Yeah, it's time to drain the oil out of this. I'm almost speechless. I've seen mowers with a lot of oil in them before, but I don't think I've ever seen that much. So let's go ahead and just turn her over and drain all the oil out, since it is away from the tank, from the gas tank, that is. We're going to do it the lazy way. And then we'll see what we've got. I'm telling you, they're trying to test me. I really believe that this is a test. It has to be. I don't think I've ever seen oil come out of the carburetor before. And as you can see on the ground, it kicked a whole lot of oil out of the carburetor too. So let's hope we don't have any other damage. Now, the oil actually looks pretty good. There's just too much of it. So I'm not real worried about getting all the oil out of the bottom. And for fun, we'll list it as having a fresh oil change when we sell it. Okay, now we're going to give it just a moment to settle. And we'll take that time and I'll clean her up real quick and get all the oil off of it, and we'll be right back. Okay, after filling it up that much, you can see our oil mark is down to 24. If you look right here, you can see the dark spot. That means we put 8 ounces in. Now we're going to stop and let the oil settle a little bit. And you want to do that because if you don't let the oil settle, you don't know how much you left in the case. And that's kind of hard to tell. It looks like it's at the bottom of the stick now. As you can see there, we've got just a little bit of oil on the bottom of the stick. And it's pretty consistent, so I have a feeling that's what our actual oil level is. So now we're going to put just a little bit more in, like 1 or 2 more ounces, and that's it. As you can see, we've gone from 24 to halfway between 24 and 20. It does take a little bit of patience to get the amount of oil right. You want to do it over and over again. It's not hurting you any. You got nothing better to do on Saturday. And when you're done, you're going to go cut the yards. So this gives you a few minutes in the shade. That looked pretty close to the bottom mark right there. Yep, I think we're coming close to the bottom mark. We can afford 2 more ounces, so we'll take it down, give or take, to 20. And if you miss by a tiny bit, it won't hurt you any. Okay, so now we've taken it down to 20. We've added 2 more ounces. If you come, right past the top edge of the stick, that won't hurt you any. It was up to here on the stick. I'm not quite sure how. Well, I am sure how, but I don't want to think about it. Oh, and I think we might have it. Now we're going to let this sit for a couple of minutes, and then we'll come check it again. And the reason we're letting it sit is to let any oil that accumulated in the tube while we were pouring oil in, we're going to let that settle in. And there you have it. It looks to be right at the top dot on the stick. But we're not going to make that decision for 5 minutes. We're going to let it sit for 5 minutes and make sure that the tube is entirely empty before we make a call. She's been sitting for a couple of minutes now, so let's take a look now and see what we've got for oil. Yep, and we're right at the mark right here. We're a touch below, completely full. So we're done. So let's restart her now and see what we've got. Now she's probably going to take a few pulls to restart it, only because we filled up the intake system with oil. She's revving awfully high, and the linkage is all freed up. So now we're going to double check and make sure that he didn't bend anything trying to make adjustments on it. And we're still seeing a lot of smoke. I'm kind of hoping that we filled the muffler up with oil. Yeah, we're kicking oil out all over the place. I don't think the engine is harmed. I'm pretty sure it's just simply the system's full of oil right now. I'll probably have to run this for 10 minutes to get it all out. Okay, the end of the bar was bent a little bit. That might explain the high idle. Let's take a look at that real quick. See, behind the carburetor, there's this little spring that goes to this bar here. And this controls the tension to the governor, which sees how high this thing idles. Now, you can bend it back and forth to adjust your idle. But I think it was bent way too far. I don't think this needed it. This one had other problems, and he thought maybe adjusting that bar would do it. So I bent it back a little bit, and let's see what happens. And again, see how the cover's not quite going on? And now it's on. Pull the string just a touch, and she'll fall into place for you. One of the things I say a lot is always take pictures before you take something apart. This is a classical example of that. If he had pictures when he took this apart, this would have gone together easy peasy. Okay, that went pretty well. I had to go take a shower after I finished that. I had oil all over me that came out of that mower, but we got it all cleaned up and got it out there for sale. If he had taken pictures while he was working on that, I never would have seen that mower, because the big mistake he made was putting the linkage together on the carburetor backwards. He did a good job rebuilding the carburetor. I didn't have to touch it. All I had to do is get the linkage back in shape. And of course, then we discovered that he had added oil. Every time he thought about the lawnmower, apparently he went and put more oil in it and never took any out. Now, your mower should burn about an ounce, maybe 2 ounces per season. But always, always, always check the dipstick and add it just a little bit at a time, because if you overload it, you're going to end up with a mosquito killer, and that's not much fun when you're walking through the cloud. Well, thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.